What's up, you guys? My name's Nicole, and this is Real Talk Recovery. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope that you will stay and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so that way you can be made aware of every time I upload a video. And give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you have friends who are struggling with a disease of addiction, who are looking for support, tell them to come over and hang out. We really do have an awesome community here on YouTube, and I am just so happy and proud to be a part of it. You guys, I stumbled across a new channel today. It was funny because I was on Twitter, and I don't have like a bunch of people following me on Twitter, but I'm following quite a few people that are sober on Twitter. So I saw somebody had retweeted a girl named Lissa, and her channel, her first episode went up today, and I think her channel's called Sobriety Talk Show. I want to say it's Sobriety Talk Show. Anyway, I'll link it in the comments after this video is done, but I went over to her channel, of course, because y'all know how I roll. I'm the welcome wagon. And I welcomed her to the community and told her, hey, I'm going to send everybody over here and find all my people, because I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but we have a little community chat on Hangouts where if you are struggling and you need support, we have a chat, and it's literally called the support chat. And we all gather there and talk and just, you know, chill and help each other. And like if one of us is struggling, there's always somebody there to support, you know. Hey, Jason. Hey, Christy. Welcome to the channel, Christy. Okay, guys. Christy is also new over here on our channel, and she is just starting her recovery. She is on medically assisted treatment, and she needs our support. So, Christy, I'm glad you found me, girl, because listen, I have been on medically assisted treatment, i.e. Suboxone, for about 3.5 years. I'm currently tapering, and I'm down to 6 milligrams. But, sister, let me just tell you something. I have been through it with people judging, people saying things about being on medically assisted treatment, and I could teach you a thing or two about that, because, sister, I work a program of recovery. I've been sober for 3.5 years, almost 4. July will be my 4th year. And I'm a 12-step person. I love the 12 steps. I work the 12 steps. I have a sponsor. But I've had to have the extra help on being on maintenance. So I have experience with, you know, with people judging. And that's why I started my channel. There's so many of you guys that are new here, and I want to talk. I'm trying to like talk about it in the beginning of each one of my videos and explain, like, the reason I started my channel was because I was on Suboxone. I was working a 12-step program, but I was struggling finding a connection with people who knew what I was going through. People who were, you know, who really wanted to be sober, who really wanted to have recovery, but needed that extra help from the medication. And I was not finding people like that in AA. But I didn't stop going to AA, and I haven't stopped working the 12 steps, you know. Actually, I just got done going through them with my sponsor a couple months ago, and now I'm going through them with someone else. So, I still use the 12 steps in my life, like, and I still apply them in my life, but I needed a connection with people who knew what I was going through. People who had to. It was a really humbling experience for me getting on Suboxone, because it made me, hey Jeremy, I got on Suboxone, you guys, because I'm so glad you came over, bud. I got on Suboxone, you guys, because I was really, really struggling with staying sober. And okay. The last video that I just put up, called The Depths of Hell Story Time, that was my story. I told my whole story in the video before this. And in that story, you'll hear I kept relapsing. I would go to treatment. I would get out. I would get a sponsor. I would start working the steps. I would get 6 to 9 months sober, and then I would relapse. And that kept on happening. I've been to 5 rehabs, and I've been to prison 1 time. And I was really struggling. And when the last time I used was in July of 2015. And my son was removed from my care, Department of Human Services. So when that happened, it really made me make a decision. I really had to get serious. And so I got out of treatment after being in treatment for 30 days, and I was so scared because what did I know? I knew that my past behaviors showed me that every time I would get out of rehab, I would do good for a couple months and then I would relapse. So here I am, I'm going through my head. I'm in my head. I'm 30 days sober and I'm tripping. I'm like, I'm going to relapse and I'm going to lose my son. I'm going to relapse and the Department of Human Services is going to take my son from me. And so I was tripping. When I got out of treatment, my husband came to pick me up and I was bawling my eyes out because I already had that craving. I already had the desire. I wanted to get high. I wanted to go find opiates and I wanted to shoot them in my veins. Hey, Shayna. So I said, please, 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 what are we going to do? I want to get high. I was crying and my husband was like, no, we're not getting high. We're going to get help. And he was like, I've tried this before, Nicole. I've been on Suboxone before, and it really, really helped me, but I was never serious about my recovery. And he was like, you know, we have to do this for our son. We have to stay sober for our son. And I was like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'll be able to stay sober. I don't know if I can, I don't know if I can do it. Because for so long, I had practiced getting high, and it was like embedded in my brain. And even when I didn't want to get high, I got high. Do y'all understand what I'm saying about? Even when I didn't want to use, I used. It was like I was using against my own will. So he took me and we both got put on Suboxone, and we both started therapy together, and we both started therapy separately. So we were going to a therapist appointment with each other and then a therapist appointment separately. And we started going to AA, and we both got sponsors and started working the steps. And that's what we've been doing ever since. But I'm going to tell you, at the beginning, it was really, really tough because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where I fit in. And that's why I started my channel, because I was seeking this place where I could fit, where I was, it was like everybody was trying to put me in this round hole, and here I am, this square, and everybody else is round and they're going in the hole just fine, perfect, and they're all doing well, and I'm struggling, so Suboxone changed my life, and it gave me the opportunity to stay away from drugs long enough to build a support system. And that's what I've been doing for the last 3 years. And now I feel strong enough to taper. And that's what I'm doing, tapering now. But I tell you guys that at the beginning of this video because I've got to let y'all know what's going on. Like, I never ever want to present myself in a way that's misleading. So I always want to let you guys know like where I'm at in my recovery and what I'm doing and what's my plan. And so, okay. So my plan has always been to reach abstinence. That's my goal. But I'm just not there yet. But my recovery is fucking strong, and I work my ass off to, help others and be selfless and to, work the principles in my life and practice love and tolerance and care for other people. And so I just wanted to kind of give you guys that briefing at the beginning. Now, Jeremy, I'm so glad you came over to the channel.
I can't hear it.
Oh, give me the remote control and I'll turn it up. The big long one that's square. You guys, Jeremy is actually struggling, and he called me or texted me on email the other day, and I gave him some phone numbers. Is it going up? There you go. I gave him some phone numbers for different treatment centers. So welcome, Jeremy. You are welcome here, bud. And you're not alone. We've all been there. And let me just tell you, like, I know what it's like. And if you ever feel like you need anything, you can always message me. Don't take more than 2 days. Yeah. So, okay. I know that Classy had wanted me to tell you guys, to share with you guys a little bit about my pregnancy and what it was like when I got pregnant with my son and how all that went down. Is there anything else that you guys want to talk about today? I guess like where I left off in my story was me and Neil getting put on Suboxone. So I guess I could pick up and I could tell you guys what happened from there. Oh, it's okay, Jessica. Y'all, Jessica's trying to quit smoking, and she's struggling with that. It's all good, girl. Here, okay, let me share with you guys how I quit smoking. So smoking for me has always been something that I did, like, especially when I would do opiates, because I would get that opiate high, my nose would start itching, and then I would smoke my cigarettes. Just chain smoke. I'd probably smoke a pack in a whole day. Maybe, you know, maybe 2 packs. And I stopped smoking cigarettes when I was pregnant, but then when I had my son, I started right back up. And my little boy was going out, and he would see me smoking, and he would say stuff like, "Oh, Mom," you know, and he would think it was cool. And I remember one day him seeing me smoking and thinking it was cool, and like wanting to hold one of my cigarettes. And I was like, no, no. And that's when I was like, I've got to make a change, because I don't want him to see me and think it's okay to do that. So, you know what I did? I just quit. I stopped buying them. And that's what I did. I stopped buying the cigarettes. Now, don't get me wrong. It was difficult because every now and then, or no, not every now and then, every time I would drive past a gas station, I would get the urge to turn into the gas station and go get cigarettes. But I just quit buying them, you know, and I quit. I don't go down in my garage, because I used to smoke in my garage and just sit there and hang out. And it worked. Like, I just quit smoking. So, wifey is mad that I'm hanging out. Why? Tell her to come hang out with us. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about relationships, you guys. Let's talk about loved ones who are... I stopped buying cigarettes. That's what I did, girl. I literally stopped buying them. I told my husband, yo, do not buy me any cigarettes. If I ask you to do it, do not get them. You got to get them all out of your house. Get all the cigarettes out of your house. And then whoever else you live with, be like, listen, do not buy me cigarettes. And then what I started doing was, like, when I would want to buy cigarettes, you guys, I would chew gum. I would drink some water. I would think of my son and that money and how it could go to him. Excuse you. Say hi to everybody.
Can you please come?
Definitely
Can you
need
please
to
come
leave.
somewhere for a second?
I don't know. Very good. And I've got nobody around me that's not using. Yeah, Jeremy. And so that's why I was trying to get you to call me. Hey, Classy. And listen, you ain't got to call if you don't feel comfortable. I totally understand. But, you know, here's the deal. We've all been there. We all know what it's like. We've all relapsed, gotten back sober, relapsed, gotten back sober. And like I said, I'm on Suboxone, and I've been on it for 3 years, and now I'm tapering. So if you think that would help you, Jeremy, there's no shame in needing extra help. There's absolutely no shame. And especially since you're a heroin addict, you could die. And you don't know if your next shot or your next snort is going to be your death. So I would highly suggest looking into a maintenance program and getting into some therapy and getting into a program where you can go and see other people and have someone to talk to. Jessica, listen to me. The passion, I understand. So when I first started doing YouTube, you guys, you can ask all my followers on here. I would come on here every day, maybe 4 times a day, and record a video, maybe even more than that. And so what I've had to do is, like, you see how I'm doing the live streams in the evening. Now, I know we did one this morning, but it's the weekend. But what I'm trying to do is limit myself to 1 stream a day, where I just do it in the evening times. And you know what, Jessica? Right now, you're just struggling, and you're trying to get yourself back on track and get balanced out. Once you get yourself on a good, healthy program where you're waking up at the same time, and you're exercising, and you're eating right, and you are, doing real well with your recovery, because, right now with the kratom, it's like a back and forth kind of thing. Once you can get yourself kind of tapered off that, I think you'll be a lot better. I think you'll have more, I think maybe you'll feel better. If not, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe you should look into, and I'm not a doctor, you guys. I'm not a doctor. These are just suggestions. Maybe you should look into mental health medication. Are you struggling with depression? Are you struggling with lack of motivation? I got put on Wellbutrin, and that shit saved my life. And Wellbutrin is another thing. Right when I got put on it, and then I stopped smoking cigarettes. I think it helped me stop. And I've heard, the doctor told me it probably would. And it makes the taste of cigarettes not taste right. But it's also a mental health medication. Let me see what y'all are saying. Sorry, I'm trying to read everybody's. She feels like we are roommates. Jacked up. I know, Jamie. It is hard to stop smoking. I know. I wake up at 3:30 at work. Oh, Jessica, you're doing good. That is good. I wish I could get out there and work like that. But okay, well then your schedule's going good. Okay, so that's the thing. That lack of motivation, and that it's like almost like we're in like a depressed state. I know, believe me, like, and the whole YouTube thing, it allows us to be in our own little bubble. And that's part of addiction, is isolation. Y'all know that, right? Like the disease in our brain, because our brains are diseased brains. We have the disease of addiction. Our addiction, it wants us to isolate, and it wants us to, that's why we have the chat. That's why we have you guys. That's why we have all of each other here. So I tried to make that to where we're not like isolating. And hey, Christy. And we all are like connecting with each other, at least with each other, because when you first get sober, even if you're on maintenance or if you're on kratom right now, like, this is way better than what you were when you were in active addiction, okay? So when you trade over and you start changing into this new life, first of all, it's really difficult to transition to that change, okay? It's really difficult, and it's hard to find your place. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I feel so awkward. I felt so awkward, like I didn't know where to fit, you know what I mean? Like, and then when I do try to go out and be social with a bunch of different people, it was like hard for me. Hey, Jessica, Jeremy wants to know, what is kratom and where do you get it from? I have never taken it, but Jessica has. My husband is jelly of my YouTube friends. Yeah, and that's the thing, like, we have found passion for this new way of life. That is so true, Shanna. And what happens is I feel like they feel like we're leaving them out. But you know what? I want to include my husband on this new endeavor and all this passion that I have for my recovery. And so I've been slowly working it and easing it into him, you guys. And I think I'm going to get him on the channel to come hang out with us one night and do a live stream. So I'm excited. And if I can get Neil on here, y'all are going to see why I fell in love with him. Because he's just the sweetest person you've ever met in your whole entire life. He's got some good stories too. Daddy?
Ow, why did you fall in love with me?
Why did I fall in love with your daddy?
Yeah.
Because he treated me like a princess. I can't wait, because I feel like we can do this together, you know what I mean? And I want to get him excited about his recovery. I feel like in our relationship, and I don't know about how it is for you guys with your mates, but like there's always, in the relationships, there's always one person who's like, you know, a little bit more out there, a little bit more outgoing, loud, boisterous, and that's me. And he's more reserved. So we balance each other out, you know. So I don't want to overshadow him. Oh, wow. That's cool. So I don't know if Jessica answered your question, Jeremy, but kratom is an herb over, it's from Asia, I think, and it is in the coffee family, okay? And what people have learned is that when you drink it or take it orally, it attaches itself to the opioid receptors and it produces the same feeling as opiates do, and it gives pain relief. So a lot of people use kratom to come off of heroin or other opiates when they're trying to come off of them. It's illegal in some states and legal in others. It's not, but you just got to be careful because there's people that will sell it to you and it'll have a whole bunch of different other stuff in it. So you need to get it from a licensed like vendor. And you have to, if you just Google like kratom vendors online, you'll be able to find some. And it's like I said, it's in the coffee family, and it's just like it's an herb. That's what it is. It's an herb. And yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Jason hit the nail on the head. Just like with any substance, it has a lot of really good medicinal properties for people who are like in chronic pain and really struggling. It attaches to the mu receptors, opiate receptors, like Suboxone does. Yeah, and it helps a lot of people, and it's not it's not like a pill like over the counter, you know, or but there's a lot of controversy surrounding it because the FDA won't approve it and they're trying to like ban it because I think, this is just my opinion, I think because, you know, if kratom's allowed, then big pharma can't pump out all the opiates that they give to people, you know, because then people will start changing to this new natural substance, and they can't, the United States or America can't like get their paws on it because it's in overseas, you know, in Asia. Yeah. Okay, so that's the thing, Michelle. You can build a dependency to it. Some research on it. Oh yeah, you're welcome, Jeremy. And I'm telling you, like, here on my channel, you guys, like, I just want you to be okay. I want you to get sober. I want us all to make it. So if you use something to get you to your point, like I've had to do with my medically assisted treatment, I will never, ever shame you. And that's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk to you guys about shame and judging in the community and how it doesn't belong here. It doesn't. Yeah, baby.
Can you start this over so it doesn't have to do this whole story?
Yeah, hold on.
Where are you?
Oh, y'all know I'm sitting on my butt. Okay, what do you want me to do?
Can you start it over where he wears the suit?
Start at the beginning?
Yeah, because I don't like the whole thing. I don't like doing it for one.
Okay.
Is this a different one?
Okay. So, you guys know that shame is not healthy.
This is the same one. Mommy.
Right. Okay, so Jessica, and that's how I feel about Suboxone. Suboxone is the lesser of two evils for me because I was an IV, you know, addict.
Mom,
What, baby?
I said start it over on a different,
Oh,
on a different part of it.
You want a different episode?
Yes.
You've watched all of these. Oh, there we go.
I didn't watch all.
There you go. I got it. Hold on, guys. I'm coming. I got to take my bra off. My boobies. It is hot up here. I'm going to lower the heat, too. Okay, here I go. Okay. Okay, guys. Hey, Max. So, I wanted to talk to you guys about shame, okay? So, shame keeps us sick. There is nothing to be ashamed of, you guys. I know that we all struggle. Day 3 and I feel horrible right now. And that's the thing, Jeremy. You do not need to go get any H. So I think you need to get on it and call the head shops in your town. I bet you could get some kratom right now and it'll relieve some of those withdrawals. Okay, so shame. Shame keeps us sick. For so many years, I was ashamed. I was ashamed. I was afraid. I felt shame because I felt judged, because I knew that I was struggling. I knew that I was an addict. Just like many of us, we know that we have an addiction. We know we have a problem, you know, and for the longest time, like, I would feel so shamed by others when I first got into recovery. And what I mean by that is, because you guys know, I've been trying to be in recovery for so many years. If you watched my last video, then you will have heard my whole story and the whole progress of my addiction and how it got worse and worse and worse. Okay? So, after failing to stay sober for so many years, after failing treatment center after treatment,
the remote?
over there on the counter. After failing so many treatment centers and relapsing so many times, I felt like I was never going to get sober. I felt like I was never going to get to this point where I am now.
The small one.
Clark was judging me.
The small one.
Christy, you do have to get out of your head because listen to me, girlfriend. What do you want to do? Take it off?
Pick it.
Oh.
Pick that one.
Okay, there. Okay. Even if the pharmacy is judging you, it doesn't matter. You know why? Because you are taking steps to better your life. You are taking the steps to get your life back together and to change your life from a life of addiction.
How come you can start at the end?
What do you mean start from the end? What do you mean?
How come you start at the same one and did it?
Nate, there. What? You're now you're making me upset. Pick one. There's the remote control. Do you want it? Don't be ugly. Sorry, guys. So many of us have that shame and that like, it's because of the stigma, you guys. Because of this, the disease of addiction has been stigmatized for over so many years. Why is it shameful? Why are we stigmatized because we struggle with the disease of addiction? Okay, you know why? Because the disease of addiction makes us do things that we aren't proud of. And it causes other people to do things that they aren't proud of. And therefore, when people think about the disease of addiction, what do they think about? They think about someone with a needle in their arm. They think about somebody underneath a bridge with a bag and, vodka in a bag. All right? Instead of thinking somebody who is sick and suffering. Whenever I think about addiction, I think of my brothers and sisters who are suffering. I think of human beings who don't love themselves, who have low self-esteem, who have low self-confidence, who are hurting inside. Okay? That's what I think about. But so many people judge and stigmatize the disease of addiction. And there's more stigma being added to it because inside of our little recovery community, there's addicts judging addicts. And it's like, what? How does that even make sense? If you are an addict and you're in recovery and the way you got sober was through abstinence, then I applaud you. I can't wait till I can say the same thing because I want to get there too. But what does judging do? What does saying to someone, you're not really sober, or you can't say you're in recovery, or, oh, you're on Suboxone? When are you going to get off of that?
Mom, you have to go pee-pee.
What good does that do? if you're in recovery, then your job as a recovering addict is to lift your brothers and sisters in recovery up and to help them and to encourage them. Exactly. It's just like mom shaming, Michelle. I have experienced it so much. I never want anyone to have to go through the things I went through in my addiction. Do I think that I'm better than anybody because of the root, the way my addiction took me down? No. In fact, the stories I was telling you this morning, you guys, about how low down I've went in my addiction, they didn't even touch the tip of the iceberg. I didn't go into detail and tell you the things I did for those drugs. I didn't go into detail and tell you the things that happened to me when I was on those drugs. You know, and as recovering addicts, we have to support each other, okay? We don't need to stigmatize and add more of that to our brothers and sisters who are struggling, you know? And a lot of the times, what I see is people who are in our little community and they get triggered. They get triggered by things that other people say. And here's what happens. When someone hears the truth and they're not ready to hear it, they get triggered. So over here on my channel, I don't know if you guys know this, but I talk about the steps, the 12 steps. The first step is we admitted we were powerless over drugs and alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. Okay, we, it says we, not I. It says we, because why? This is a we thing. We have to have help. We have to have support. It says we admitted we were, past tense, we were powerless over drugs and alcohol. You know what? When we were putting that shit in our bodies. But right now, I have the power of choice. And today, I choose to survive. Today, I choose to recover. Today, I choose to be a recovering addict and not an active addict. She knows I was going live because I had made a video about it earlier. And I also made a video about her, you guys, shouting her channel out so people would go over there and encourage her to come to be okay. So, and I text messaged her too. When people hear the truth is we have a disease. It's the disease of addiction. The truth is the American Medical Association has already proven it to be a disease. The truth is there's no arguing that. There's no like, hey, I'm going to prove you wrong. Okay? There's no reason to get up in arms because you can't cope with the fact that you have a disease. And that's the thing. Like I've seen, it doesn't happen a lot, you guys, but I see a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll come over here to the channel, my channel, and they'll watch my videos, okay? And they'll hear me talking about the disease of addiction and how, you know, it's like really important for us to start working on our insides and get support. Now, do I tell you that you have to go to AA? No, but I want you to get support. It doesn't matter if you do 12 steps. It doesn't matter if you do Celebrate Recovery. It doesn't matter what program you do, okay? All it matters is that you got to have support. And a lot of people don't want to hear that. A lot of people don't want to hear that they have to get honest. A lot of people don't want to hear that they're going to have to take suggestions. A lot of people don't want to hear that they're actually going to have to listen to what someone else suggests them to do. And that's how I know when somebody is just not at that point yet. Because we got to take suggestions. We have to let someone else guide us. Because you know what? My best thinking got me here. Your best thinking got you here. All right? Who on earth is hanging out on a recovery channel on a Saturday night? So it's okay for age addict to go to. Okay, so Jeremy, yes, absolutely. The only desire for membership of AA, The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. So what I do is when I go in there, if they ask me if I have to speak or I'm sharing anything, I always just refer to my drug of choice as alcohol, and just that's it. Okay, Jessica, that's what I'm talking about, girlfriend. But that's the thing. We are here on a Saturday night, and we are people that normally would not mix. But you know what has brought us together? Our common struggle, and we're all here together on a Saturday night. You remember what you used to do on Saturday nights? I know what I used to do. I used to be getting fucked up. You know what I mean? And I would be losing. The last Saturday night that I can remember, you guys, I shot up and I fell and busted my head open right downstairs in this house. And it was so embarrassing. Neil had to pick me up. I had a big old gash right here because my ass was greedy. And I would just and then pass out. But if you, there's Alcoholics Anonymous and there's Narcotics Anonymous. But Jeremy, I'm going to be straight up with you. I love going to Alcoholics Anonymous because it's got a lot more old timer people with more sobriety. NA didn't start until like 20 years or something after AA did. So I really like going to AA because it's been up a lot longer. So yeah, Christy, and you know, right, and we used to be out there hustling and stuff. Hey, Scottish. So like now we all congregate together and spend our time like learning about our addiction and learning about new ways to cope with our feelings. And that's the thing, you guys, like getting sober, whether you are sober through abstinence or you're working program and you're on maintenance, you still have to work on all these behaviors and changing the way you're changing your life. So I was watching this girl the other day, and she was talking about the opposite of addiction is connection, right? So what did we all do when we were in our active addiction? We would pull away from people. We would isolate. We would get high and just go and do our own thing. And so when we get sober, we have to pull in people and surround ourselves with connection and loving and having relationships that are healthy with people that can help us. Because you guys, it is lonely out there when you're in active addiction. And I don't want any of you guys to die. You know, it breaks my heart to know that some of you are struggling still because I don't want you to die, you know, and that's my biggest fear is like losing one of you guys or losing my husband. If he does, you know, sometimes y'all know how Neil has struggled. Now he's doing good now. Don't get it twisted. But that's one of my biggest fears is losing him to the disease of addiction. Addiction doesn't care who you, doctor, lawyer, it doesn't care. It will take you down through there. And in order for us to recover, we have to fight it. We have to fight our disease tooth and nail. You can never stop fighting. Just when you think you've got it licked, it'll come back up and bite you in the ass. We have to stay diligent and we have to stay on course. With the disease, what happens with the disease of addiction is we'll be knocking it out. Boom, 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 right? And then we'll let up and take a break. Right when you take a break, start breathing a little bit, that's when the disease of addiction will come up and right hook that ass or uppercut and knock your ass out. You got to constantly keep it slow, just slow and steady, so that way you can stay punching. Slow and steady and consistent. Consistency is the key whenever you're in recovery. You got to stay consistent, okay? If your consistency is coming on here and watching a video of mine at 5:45 every day, then you got to follow that program. If it's calling somebody up in the morning, hey, yo, just checking in today, sober support check-in, boom, okay? We got to stay consistent, you know? And I didn't understand that for so many years. I thought, I can do this and then I can stop, right? I'll get myself together and then I'll stop. And every time I would fall back. So I finally got it through my thick ass skull that I got to stay consistent. I got to stay working at it. That's the hard part. That's the fucking hard part, is not being complacent, not stopping after we get better. Like, I could have stopped a long time ago when I got my car and I got my son back and I got my house and I got my job. But then guess what would happen? I would lose all that because I would relapse, you know? So we've got to stay consistent, you guys. If I can't teach y'all anything, let it be known that this is a forever job. Like, this is forever. We're going to be fighting the disease of addiction for the rest of our lives. And we just have to keep pushing forward and keep staying consistent. This is what I do in a day. Let me share with you guys. Many years, he was on it. Sorry, my ear's itching. He was on methadone years before I met him. And he does really good on medically assisted treatment. But it doesn't work. It didn't work for me. So in the morning, this is what I do. I wake up in the morning and I do a morning meditation. I either read out of my AA Big Book, the 12 and 12, or my Thought of the Day. It's just a little meditation book, okay? And I go to the date and I read my meditation. Before I even put my feet on the ground, I thank my higher power for keeping me sober the day before. I say, thank you, God. Thank you for waking me up. Thank you for giving me my life. Thank you for allowing me to have this beautiful fucking life today. Thank you for relieving me of the obsession. Because you know what? When I wake up in the mornings, you guys, I'm not constantly fucking fiending like I used to be. All right? And you guys know what I'm talking about. If you were a junkie like I was, you would wake up every fucking morning, okay, needing a shot. And I'm not talking about being dope sick. I'm talking about fiending. Fiending for meth. Fiending for H. Fiending for Roxy. And I thank him. And then I get up. I do my shower. And then I call my sober support. I call Jason. I call my sponsor. I call my husband if he's not here, if he's already at work. And I get my sober support crew set up for the day. Like, hey, I talk to my ladies, all my girls from here. We have a little chat group on Instagram. I go over to the Hangouts and I say hi to everybody, let them know I'm awake. And that's my sober support. So I literally have all these different chat groups at my fingertips in case I'm feeling weak. In case I have a day where I get a bright idea and I think, you know what, I'm going to go get high today. I got you guys on speed dial. And I can just call y'all struggle. A lot of us say, we want to say, fuck it. But you know what? We get on there, we start talking about it, we start laughing, kikiing, and that helps so fucking much. I know that you guys probably think I'm crazy, but the connection and being able to talk to people and being transparent, honest, and letting people know, like, yo, this is where I'm at, it helps so much. That connection and being able to share what you're going through with other people will change your fucking life. It will change your life if you will just let down the barrier, let down the wall, and let people in. Let people in that want to help you. It will change your life. Changed my life. Now, I can't go a day without talking to my sober crew. I want to talk to them every day. I want to hear about their lives. I care about what they're doing. I care about how they're living. Oh, wow, Charity. Talking on what else? Yeah, so is she on too high of a dose, or is she mixing benzos with it? I'm going to read a little bit to you guys since we have a couple of new people here on the channel. So here, listen to this. The feeling of having shared in a common peril is one element in the powerful cement that binds us. It binds all of us together. Our common struggle, common peril. So, this is the Alcoholics Anonymous Big Book. Okay, so this is a nightly meditation that you guys can read. Okay, I'll text you on. Do we have each other on Instagram, right? We need to talk because she could die. Okay, I have overdosed so many times from doing that. You better tell her ass to get that. That makes me worry. Okay, so if you guys have the big book. I'm fixing to in just a second. If any of you guys have this book, there is a perfect meditation that you can do in the morning and at night. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you the nighttime one. So here we go. When we retire at night, we constructively review our day. Do we owe an apology? We kept something to ourselves which should be discussed with another person. Were we kind and loving towards all? What could we have done better? Were we thinking of ourselves most of the time? Or were we thinking of what we could do for others, of what we could pack into the stream of life? But we must be careful not to drift into worry, remorse, or morbid reflection, for that would diminish our usefulness to others. After making our review, we ask God's forgiveness, and inquire what corrective measures should be taken. So, you guys know how I was talking to y'all about living the principles in my life? So here's what the thing. I ask myself every day, have I been resentful? Have I been selfish? Have I been dishonest? Or have I been afraid? Every night when I go to bed, I check myself. Do I owe anyone an apology? Have I kept something to myself that I should have discussed with my sponsor? Was I kind and loving towards all? And what could I have done better? If you can go through that checklist every night and list the things that you need to do differently, it will help you so much to do better than you did the day before. I'm serious, you guys. This book right here changed my life when I got it. I didn't know how much good stuff was in it because all those years that I would read it, I didn't understand what they were saying. Now, I do. Every night I take inventory of my life. I look back at my behaviors from the previous day and I check myself before I wreck myself. Because I know, as a recovering addict, I cannot take that shit into the next day with me. Like all that shit that was going down with the trolls, that's left in yesterday. I don't need that shit in my life. So today, I go through it and I let it go. And today I'm living my life happy, joyous, and free. But I got to check myself before I wreck myself. And then in the morning times, you can do this one. And this is all on page 80 of the big book. On awakening, let us think about the 24 hours ahead. We consider our plans for the day. Before we begin, we ask God to direct our thinking, especially asking that it be divorced from self-pity, dishonest, or self-seeking motives. Okay, so you hear that? We pray and we ask God to take away self-pity, dishonesty, or self-seeking. Okay, because the worst thing for an addict like me to do is to be in my head pitying myself, feeling sorry for myself, thinking about relapsing or I'm going to die. I can't handle my life. Everything's going downhill. If you're in that spot right now and you're going, I can't make it, I'm never going to get through this, I tell you this right now. You need to get up off your ass and you need to go help somebody. You need to get out of your house and you need to do something to help someone else and get out of your own way. When we're in our heads, it's the worst place to be. That is torture for an addict. Okay? We all know what we've done. We all know the shit that we did when we were in our addictions. So now what we have to do is we have to get out of our heads. We have to go and do service work. Do something to help somebody else. It doesn't matter what it is. If it means going outside and shoveling snow for your next door neighbor, I don't care what. If it means cooking your old man dinner, fresh, new, hot dinner, just to make him happy, something special. It doesn't matter if it means going to a meeting and lighting somebody's cigarette for him, or giving him a ride. You just got to do something for someone else and get out of your head. Stop thinking about how terrible your life is and how you're never going to make it and everything's going to shit. Because that thinking right there is what's taking you down. You got to change your thinking. You got to change that thought process. You can't constantly be beating yourself down. If you're going to do that, you're going to fail. If you're going to constantly tell yourself, I'm not going to do this, I'm never going to recover, I'm going to be a drug addict forever, then you know what? That's what you're going to be. You got to pull your head up out of your ass and you got to push forward. You got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm the shit. I'm going to make it. I'm going to live today. I'm going to recover and I'm going to be better than I was yesterday. But if you can't You've got to get out of your own way. You've got to stop the pity party, stop the excuses, stop the everything. And if listen, no, don't get upset. I see some of y'all get mad. If you have mental illness and you're not taking care of it, and you need to go to the doctor and take care of that shit, because that shit will take you down through there. And then, you know what? We might lose you, and then you could die. You've got to change that perspective. You've got to change your thinking, you guys. Because all that bullshit, all that I'm not going to make it shit, it's not going to get you anywhere. I promise you. I know. I used to do it all the time. You know what? I was just doing it this morning. I was looking at myself in the mirror and I was going, I'm never going to lose this weight. I'm going to be fat forever. My man's going to leave me. I'm going to die of a heart attack. And you know what? If I keep on talking like that, that's what's going to happen. But I got to turn that shit around. I'm going to be a skinny goddess. I said skinny legs. That's right. I'm going to wear a bikini this summer. Okay? That's what we got to do. I know, Jessica. That's what we got to do. We got to get out of our own heads. We got to stop tearing ourselves down. We've got to push forward and be positive. Be a light in your own life. Fuck everybody else. You don't need nobody else. You got to be a light in your own life. You got to change your own thinking. And we cannot beat ourselves up anymore. If you keep on doing that, you're going to fucking fail. I know, because I've failed so many times. Now, I take that back about the fucking everybody else. We do need people, because we need support. But what I mean is, fuck the bad people. Fuck the people who don't care about you. Fuck the people who are trying to tear you down. Fuck the people who are trying to get you hostile. If you got friends in your life that are trying to make you use or trying to invite you out to get fucked up, get the fuck away from them. Cut them motherfuckers off. People who are still in active addiction ain't got no place in your recovering world. You have got to separate yourself from that shit. I'm telling you, I spent so many years trying to pull my friends up with me. I wanted them to recover. I wanted to help them. And you know what they did?
Get off that video.
Nate, stop it right now.
Get off it.
You're about to take a bath time.
Get off it.
Hold on. I'm almost done. It's almost done. It's 50.
One time. Just get off it.
Nate, I will, and then we'll play. Okay, and then you're going to take a bath time. Let me tell you about this time, okay, you guys? What was I even going to say? I was on a roll, son. You got me all messed up. Oh, the friends. I tried for so many years to bring my friends back up with me, to bring them to my level, right? I'm telling you guys right now, I use this analogy a lot, but it's fucking true. If someone is drowning, what do? You do not jump in. You throw them a life preserver, okay? And then they grab onto it, and then you can pull them up. If you jump in to save a drowning man, they will pull you under. They are not meaning to, but they will. So an active addict is a drowning man. We cannot jump in and save them. We have to give them a life preserver, and then we can help them out. Okay? But you got to understand, the active addict has to be willing. They have to be willing to reach out and get high and not trying to change. Then you got to cut them off. You got to say, I'm sorry, dude. Come back around when you're willing. That's what I'm saying. Like, here on my channel, I will help you. I will get you connected with people who have treatment centers, who own the places, who have all the kinds of resources. I will give you phone number after phone number, but you got to be willing. You got to take the life preserver, because I'm not strong enough to save you. I'm not strong enough to, you know what I mean? It's just so serious. If I could jump in and save everybody, I would, because I remember what it was like. Yes, Reed, yes. And I remember wanting those people to be in my life so bad. A lot of those people I really cared about, you know, and then there was a lot of people that were just straight up, just drug friends. But I'm talking about my real friends, like my sister. I had to stop being around my sister for a year until she got sober. I watch a lot of people here who make videos, who are in recovery, and I see them, and they want to help other people, and they want to make videos to inspire others, and really just like help other people. But here's the thing with that. I want to encourage anyone who is thinking about making a video or making a channel. Yeah, make a channel. But here's the thing. When you make your channel, just make it about your experience. Don't try to help everybody. Don't try to save the world. Because I'm telling you right now, if you do, you'll fail. Because people don't... Listen to me. Stop. I'm going to take you and put you in the bath time if you don't stop. I'm almost done. It's been 1 hour.
Get off.
Stop it. I'm a grown-up. Play with my hair, please. Stop, Nate. You can't help everybody, you guys. And when people are early in their sobriety, like 30, 60, 90 days, 6 months, a year, it is such a struggle. So you've got to be careful. You've got to be selfish and only focus on your recovery. Only focus on you until you can get strong enough. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. Like, and then if you do make videos and you do make a YouTube channel, make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. Make sure that you check your motives. And that's what I was talking to you guys about in here. We have to check ourselves, because a lot of the times as addicts and alcoholics, we have really low self-esteem and low self-worth, right? A lot of us struggle with that. And a lot of us struggle with a false sense of pride and really big egos. An ego for an addict alcoholic is the worst. Ego will take us down, because you know what ego tells me? Ego tells me I don't need a program. Ego tells me I don't have a disease. Ego tells me that I know it all. Ego tells me that I can have just one more. Okay? So what we have to do is smash that ego. Because here's the deal, you guys, with ego. Hey, y'all. It's the pride. Pride and ego has to be smashed, because it will tell you, like I'm telling you guys, I know because I've done it so many times. And even though I'm on medically assisted treatment, I've been working so hard on my program and the 12 steps and learning about my disease, learning about my ego and how my ego, because listen, it totally creeps in and it'll tell me, oh, look at you, Nicole, you got this whole recovery thing figured out, girl. Look at you, you're doing it. And then I'm like, no, stop, Nicole. You are... Like, I have to check myself, you guys. And then my sponsor, she has to check me too. She's, come down there. Come down from there, Nicole. You're getting a big head. You know, it's just so dangerous. It's a false sense of pride. You feel what I'm saying, you guys? That false confidence. Like we had when we were using. That confidence that told us that we looked real good when we were looking like this, all strung out. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? That is bad for us, and we have to humble ourselves. That's what getting on medically assisted treatment was, the most humbling experience of my life. It was like me waving my surrender flag and saying, I need help. I can't do this alone. I need help. And I've never, ever said that before. All those times I went to treatment, all those 5 times I went to treatment, I never surrendered. I never said, I need help. I would just go in. I would bullshit through. I would go to treatment. I would get my, and then I would come out and I would go right back. It might be a couple months, but I would go back. Reed, if you're not doing a program while you're tapering and trying to, I want you to do that. Okay, I want you to get involved in a program. If you're not doing it, please. Hey, that's Lisa, you guys. She's got a new channel. Go check her out. Sobriety Talk Show. If you haven't started a program and you're on maintenance, please start a program. Because here's the thing. When you jump off your maintenance, you're going to need the support. You're going to need the program to hold you up. The fellowship of other alcoholics and other addicts that can back you and be there for you, because you're going to crave. you're going to think about using. And it's going to be difficult because once that medication comes out of your system and those receptors are lit up and they're thinking and the pleasure sensors are going ding, 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 I need. You're going to need a program to fall back on. You're going to need sober brothers and sisters to lean on. And you're going to need one person that you can trust, that you can go to when you're struggling the most. Because that one person is going to be the person that's going to help you. I'm telling you guys right now, when you get down off of medically assisted treatment, I'm telling you, that's all the things in your mind are going to start going around. Then the cravings, the triggers. And if you haven't been working all these years up until this point on changing your people, places, and things, learning about the disease of addiction, and arming yourself with the facts, you know about your disease, then you can't fight it. Okay? It's about education. We all have to educate ourselves, because if we don't know what's going on, how can we? We'll have no defense. We'll have no defense against the first drink or the first drug. If we don't have tools, coping skills, new ones that we learned while we were on our maintenance. Okay, that's what we do. While we're on maintenance, we learn our tools, we get our coping skills, we get our support and our connections and our meetings and all the people that we need. We get our big book with all the reading and we learn, soak it all in. Okay, we do that, and then when we taper completely off, then we have all that support, and we have the tools to fight, the tools to put up the defense against those triggers, because that's all it is. All it is a trigger and a thought. Okay, you can change the thought. You don't have to go out and pick up. Remember the disease cycle? Trigger, thought, obsession, use, then you crave. Okay, so you don't crave until you put it in your body. So while you're fighting the disease, you can change those thoughts, you guys, and you don't have to let those thoughts win. And that's what we learn while we're working a program. And that's why, for those of you that are on medically assisted treatment, that's why I'm trying to help you guys learn, because I don't want you to take your medicine and then fall flat on your face. It's detrimental, and to arm yourself with the facts, man, because I'm telling you right now, when you get off medically assisted treatment, that's when the work is really going to come in, because that's when you're going to be getting triggered as fuck. It's going to be difficult, because then that medicine's not going to that receptor, okay? And listen, I know, because I'm there. And the way my doctor explained it to me is that we have got to learn about our addiction. We've got to arm ourselves, you guys, because the disease of addiction is cunning, baffling, and powerful. Just like I was saying the other day, the disease will tell you you don't have it. The disease will tell you that you are functioning and had it all together. And that's the best part. I love listening to people who tell me how they had it all together. That's good, 44 B-Dog. I'm proud of you, man. But if you have, okay, for people who haven't, who are not on maintenance, here's the thing with that. Still, while you're working your recovery, I want you to do a program. I don't care what program it is. That's the thing. I love the 12 steps. But if that's not for you, that's okay. But I want you to get in some kind of program, and I want you to get connected with other recovering addicts and alcoholics. So that way you can have the fellowship and the support. Okay? So either way, you got to have support, and you got to arm yourself with the facts. Okay? Because education is key. We can't fight our disease if we don't know nothing about it. All right? We can't. If I don't know about me and what my triggers are and what sets me off, then how am I going to fight against my disease? You know, I've learned in these couple of years that I'm triggered. Boredom triggers me. Okay? I learned in my disease that stress and anxiety from my family situations a lot of the time triggers me. And I have learned coping skills to deal with those triggers. And you're probably going, well, what coping skills do you use? Okay. coping skills can be different for everyone. Okay, but I'm telling you right now, mindfulness meditation has been killing it for me. Bringing myself back into the present, focusing on my breathing, okay? That has helped me so much, you guys, and it has helped me to settle down and calm my anxiety. Okay, so right, and so I love doing that because you can do it by yourself. You can do mindfulness while you're just sitting at your house, and you don't have to, like, be with a bunch of people or call somebody to do it. But I'm telling you what else. Practicing calling somebody like my sponsor every day has been the biggest benefit for me, because I used to not want to call. I know you guys know what I'm talking about, because as I feel like a lot of us addicts and alcoholics, we get very, I don't want to know if it would be called antisocial, but it's like a social awkwardness. And when we first get sober, we're kind of like, we don't know how to talk on the phone without drugs. I don't know about you guys, but I had to learn how to do everything without drugs, because I didn't know how to. I didn't know how to have a conversation on the phone without being high. I didn't know how to go into my job without being high. I didn't know how to be a mom without being high. I didn't know how to do anything without being high. So I had to learn everything over again. So calling my sponsor every day and making that effort and that dedication, it really helped me. It helped me to learn how to communicate without being fucked up. It helped me to have confidence in the things that I was talking about and saying, and meaning what I say. It helped me to be consistent and follow through. So, yeah, I recommend anybody, if you're new in your recovery and you haven't started a program, get on it. It'll be the best thing you ever did. Get connected. And I want everyone to know, like, Christy, listen to me, girl. I didn't realize it until I tried to go to my job sober. It was my first job after I got clean, okay? And I went in, and I was like a deer in headlights. I was awkward. I was shaking. I was nervous. And then everybody was introducing themselves to me, and I was stuttering. I'm telling you, it was scary. It was scary. That's the only way I know how to explain it. I didn't know how to be without drugs. I didn't know how to be without being loaded. Being loaded made me feel like I could do things. It made me feel like I could function. And now it's like, I can't imagine when I come off my maintenance medication, because I feel like I cannot even imagine how I'm going to feel when I get off. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be like a live wire, you guys. Y'all think I'm intense now? Just wait, baby. I'm fixing to be on fire, and it's going to be awesome. That's why I started doing drugs, because when I was younger, I was so intense. I was so anxious. And I started smoking pot with my boyfriend, and it made me feel kind of just like mellow, And then it all went downhill from there. But I'm a very intense, very on fire person. And so I'm really excited to see how everything works out, when I taper down. It'll probably be in December when I jump. But I just want you guys to know that, because I know a lot of people follow me who are on maintenance. You guys keep doing what you're doing. You stay on it as long as you need to until you get your program strong, and you get your recovery strong, and you get your support system strong. Okay? Because that's what the medication is there for. It's there to aid you while you build your support system. And if you're not working on that, I want you to start working on it now. That's everyone's assignment in here. If you haven't started working on your support system, I want you to start working on it now. I want you to get at least 2 phone numbers of people who are in recovery that you can reach out to, okay? And when you're struggling. Yeah, Jessica. And when that happened, that was cold turkey. And we were in this bedroom, not the room I'm in now, but this one over here to the side, across from the bathroom I'm in. You guys, I'm telling you, it was like rotten eggs were coming out of my body. Yes, everybody has homework, you guys. You hear me? I want everyone to get two persons' phone numbers who are in recovery.
Can you get off?
Yep, I'm hanging up now. Who are in recovery, who have been sober longer than you have. Now, I don't want you to go get nobody's number that's got a day sober and who is struggling. I want you to get someone's number who's got more sobriety time, more recovery time than you do. Somebody that you look up to, okay? Somebody that you guys... Well, let's do it, Sobriety Talk Show. I'm down, girl. I love making videos. I've been making videos since December of 2017, and my channel just started popping off lately because I've been making new friends here, and we have a huge recovery community. I'll link everybody's channels that I know in the comment sections of one of your videos, but we have so many people here, girl, who are in recovery, who are either in recovery abstinence-based or in recovery and they're on maintenance and they're working to get off, or they're, it's just, here's the thing. I'm very open-minded. I support anyone who's trying to better their life. I tried for many, many, many years to be abstinent, and I would fail. So this time, I changed it up a little bit. I got a medically assisted treatment, and I've been working my ass off for 3.5 years about building new coping skills, going to therapy, working the steps with my sponsor, and I've gotten to a point where I feel like I'm strong, and I'm tapering off my medication. But it took me... I was in active addiction for 15 years, and it took me to treatment centers, a year in prison, and a whole bunch of overdoses to finally realize that, I can't do this alone, and I need help. So that's what I've been doing, and I told my story in the video before this. I know if you feel like checking it out, and it's just like a really shortened version of my story, but I just want everyone to know that they're welcome here, and that as long as you're trying to better your life, I'm never going to judge you. I'm never going to, make you feel less than. I will live stream tomorrow morning, because I do live streaming tomorrow night at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. But I usually live stream every day at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. But I do Sunday morning meditation tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Hold on, Nate. That TV's going to fall if you're not careful. But that's how we are over here on my channel, you guys. We are very supportive. We want, if you're a newcomer and you are having struggles and you need support, this is because